Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute. Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Nama om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin iti namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabho Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. In the last session, we have seen 8th chapter, where we studied how we have to give up this material world, in what state of mind, and how to give up this body, what is the perfection of human life. Once we get the human form of life, how to make the best use of this body, which is very rare to achieve, which is temporary, but it is having a lot of value, this human form of life. Now, today's session, it is called the most confidential knowledge, that is the 9th chapter. There are 18 chapters in Bhagavad Gita, and 9 and 10 are the 2 chapters which come exactly in the middle of this chapter, this book of Bhagavad Gita. So it is, both chapters are very, very important. It is speaking something very, very confidential knowledge, which can be practically implemented, and you can practically see the results by applying these concepts in our life. So these 2 chapters, that is chapter number 9 and chapter number 10, are the most important chapters of Bhagavad Gita. Let us take the blessings of Srila Prabhupada and start our session today. Shri Shri Radha Govind ki jai, Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Chapter 8 review. First of all, we have seen principles of transmigration. Arjuna asked 8 questions to Krishna, where Krishna is explaining them all the questions one by one. The last question was how to give up the body, prayana kali, how to transmigrate from this body to the spiritual body. That means end of this birth and the cycle of birth and death. How to achieve that, that is explained. The different paths are also explained. Yoga Mishra Bhakti, how a yogi can give up his body at different timings and different situations, and based on the situations, whether the yogi will achieve some perfection, like merging with the Brahma Jyoti, or impersonal liberation, or whether he comes back after going to heaven or to the moon planet. So based on this, we have discussed so many points, that is different types of bhakti. The highest bhakti is the Ananya Bhakti, that is unalloyed devotional service to the Lord. Without any expectation, the devotee is performing devotional service to the Lord, Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is Ananya Bhakti. Now, if we perform Ananya Bhakti, we will go back to Godhead. So if we want to go back to Godhead, how will be the situation there. Just like if we want to go somewhere, we should know what is the condition there, how that place is. So there are some glimpses that is given in Bhagavad Gita, how the spiritual world is, how the things are going on in spiritual world, what is the major difference between material world and spiritual world. So those things we have discussed together. Then pure devotees passage to supreme abode is guaranteed by the devotional service. So whether a devotee plans his going back to Godhead at the time of death, or if he just performs devotional service and leaves everything in the hands of Krishna, in both cases he will go back to Godhead. That is, if you perform devotional service when we are healthy, then at the time of death, even if the devotee forgets, or if he is not capable of remembering Krishna, still he will go back to Godhead. That is the mercy of Lord Krishna. Today is the fourth session of second unit, which is consisting of chapter 7 to 12. And today we will be taking first 12 texts from chapter number 9. Lord Krishna, if you see the book, the first shloka, the Lord Krishna, he is directly speaking here. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha idam tute guhyatamam pravakshyamyanasuyave jnanam vijnana sahitam yajnatva mokshase shubha. Lord Krishna, in order to encourage Arjuna to higher and higher elevation in his potent service, describes in this 9th chapter matters more confidential than any he has already disclosed. Whatever knowledge till now explained, the Bhagavad Gita knowledge itself is very confidential. The very first instruction that Krishna has given to Arjuna is very, very confidential. It is not available in any of the material studies or any schools and colleges. We don't get this knowledge, which is the most fundamental knowledge, that you are not this body. You are spirit soul. That is the beginning of study in Bhagavad Gita. So that is called Guhya Jnana. That means it is the confidential knowledge. Now, after understanding I am not this body, I am the spirit soul, and the soul has no destruction, and the soul is a part and parcel of Krishna, and it is identical to Krishna qualitatively. After knowing all these things, how can I get back my qualities? What is the cause of my bondage? And how can I get out of this bondage? All these things are explained. That is more confidential knowledge. That is explained in the next chapters. That is after we start with the devotional service, that is Bhakti Yoga, chapter 7 and 8. These are more confidential knowledge. Guhyatara Jnana. Guhya Jnana, Guhyatara Jnana. Now in the 9th chapter, we are going to study something even more confidential, which is the direct dealing with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, which is called as Guhyatama Jnana. That means most confidential knowledge. That's why it's called as Raja Vidya, Raja Guhya Yoga. That means this knowledge is king of all the knowledges. Raja Guhya, it is the most confidential knowledge. Why do we call it as most confidential? It is open to all. Anybody can open the Bhagavad Gita and they can read the Bhagavad Gita. But still it is called as most confidential. Nobody has locked the book Bhagavad Gita in some locker and it is available only for few people. No such things are there. It is available for anyone. Anybody can open and read. But it is most confidential because you will understand it only by the mercy of Guru and Krishna. Otherwise, it is not possible to understand. Only if we read Bhagavad Gita, we study Bhagavad Gita in the association of devotees, we will understand this most confidential knowledge. And it is also practicable. That means whatever instruction given in this 9th chapter, if we bring it in our life as a practice, we can see the result ourselves. We don't need anybody's certificate. If I eat food, my hunger is gone. I don't have to ask someone. I ate food. Have I come out of my hunger? I don't have to ask someone, because I myself will know. I'll come to know, understand. That is how it is. You practice, you yourself will come to know. It is practically, personally, you can experience this knowledge, that is, it is acting on us. So that is why it is called as most confidential knowledge. Now, what we studied in the 7th chapter, it is called Jnana Vijnana Yoga, that is knowledge of the absolute. In the first 6 chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the knowledge of the soul is given more important. The knowledge of the soul. Krishna is telling Arjuna, you are not the body, you are the soul. And soul is kept at the center. And all the other things are explained. Just like what is the relation between soul and the super soul? What is the relation between this material nature and the super soul? Material nature and the soul. So first 6 chapter deals with this, which is the confidential knowledge. Then from 7th chapter onwards, it directly speaks about the Lord himself, that is Krishna. The middle 6 chapters, 7 to 12, in these 6 chapters, the Lord is kept at the center. And the Jiva and Prakriti, they are surrounding it. What is the relation between the Jiva, or the spirit soul, and the Supreme Personality of Godhead? And what is the relation between the material nature and the Supreme Personality of Godhead? It is the Guhyatara Jnana, more confidential knowledge. Knowledge of the absolute begins from chapter number 7. And this beginning of devotional service is by hearing, Shravanam. So that's why Krishna is beginning the 7th chapter, the first shloka. It is we have the shloka, Maya Sakta Mana Partha Yogam Yunjan Madashrayaha Asamshramyam Samagramam Yatha Jnasasi Tat Shrunu. That means hear. You have to hear this knowledge. By hearing, your devotional service will begin. So Shravana is the first principle. Then Krishna as the source of everything, and how to surrender to Krishna. Then finally demigod worship is also explained. Impersonalist worship also explained, because person should not get misled. People will think that worshipping Krishna and worshipping demigod may be equal. I'll get same benefit from both. But there are different difficulties or problems with demigod worship, which is not equivalent to worshipping Krishna. All these things are explained, what to do and what not to do. Everything is explained in the 7th chapter. Then coming to the 8th chapter, it is called as Akshara Brahma Yoga, or Attaining the Supreme. In the 7th chapter, knowledge of the Supreme. 8th chapter is the Attaining the Supreme. That is, remembrance of the Lord at the time of death will make us to attain the Supreme Personality of Godhead, or we can go back to Godhead. And the Ananya Bhakti, or unalloyed devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is glorified here. Anybody comes to the state of Ananya Bhakti, his life is perfect. These all are coming under Guhyatara Jnana. Now coming to Guhyatama Jnana, that is called as most confidential knowledge, Raja Vidya, Raja Guhya Yoga. Why it is called as so? It is going to explain us how to practice this Ananya Bhakti, which is glorified in the chapter 8. Ananya Bhakti practice, and Krishna is partial to Ananya Bhaktas. Now, anybody can perform Krishna consciousness or Bhakti Yoga. Anybody can perform. Krishna is not restricting anyone. Only certain kind of people, certain sect of people, certain religious people. No, anybody can perform devotional service. But once you perform the devotional service, then Krishna is partial to those people who are Ananya Bhaktas. Krishna will directly take care of them. Other people, they are under the control of material nature. The material nature will give them whatever facility they want for their enjoyment. And based on their karma, their activity and reaction for their activity, they will enjoy or suffer. Krishna will not directly deal with them. But when a person becomes a devotee, or when he takes to devotional service, then his responsibility is directly under Krishna's supervision. Ananyas chintayanto mam yejana paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahami aham. Krishna is telling, I will take care of them. It is my responsibility. Aham means it is Krishna himself. It is not through any demigod or the material nature or someone else. It is directly the person is coming under the supervision of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Ananya Bhakti. That's why it's called as most confidential knowledge. Okay, any volunteers would like to read this? Please raise your hand. Radha Vallabhi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Danvatana.
Hare Krishna.
The very beginning of the Bhagavad Gita, the first chapter is more or less an introduction to the rest of the book. And in the second and third chapter, the spiritual knowledge described is called confidential. Topics discussed in the seventh and eighth chapter are specifically related to the devotional service. Hare Krishna Prabhupada.
Continue.
And because they bring enlightenment in Krishna consciousness, they are called more confidential. But the matters which are described in the ninth chapter deal with the unalloyed pure devotion. Therefore, this is called the most confidential. Purport 9.1.
Right. Thank you, Mataji. So it is most confidential because it is going to relieve us from something which we are bound since so many lifetimes. Since so many millions of years, so many millions of lifetime, we have bound within this material world. And by knowing this chapter or the knowledge or the instruction in the chapter number 9 will help us to go back to Godhead. That means it is the end of all suffering. Okay, please keep yourself muted. You can keep your video on, but keep the audio off. Okay. So this chapter is called as confidential because it can liberate us, or it can put a full stop to all our suffering in one step. So that's why it is the most confidential. What Krishna is telling here. Raja Vidya Rajaguhyam Pavitram Idamuttamam Pratyaksha Avagamam Dharmyam Susukham Kartum Avyayam. Sarita Mataji, can you read this?
Yes, Hare Krishna. This knowledge is the king of education, the most secret of all secrets. It is the purest knowledge, and because it gives direct perception of the self by realization, it is a perfection of religion. It is everlasting and it is joyfully performed. Bhagavad Gita 9.2.
Thank you, Mataji. So here many points to be noted. This knowledge is king of education. That is, this is the supreme, something to be known. And it is the most secret. It is most confidential. And it is a purest knowledge. It is not dependent on any other knowledge. You don't need any prerequisite. Anybody can directly take it. It can purify anybody. If somebody is very, very sinful, he has done all kinds of sinful activity, still he can be purified. So that is why it's called purest knowledge. And it is direct perception. You can realize yourself. You don't need someone to tell you that you are getting the results. No, you can directly understand, or you can feel it yourself. Direct perception. And it is perfection of religion. There are so many instructions in the religious codes. We have the book of religion. But what is the perfection of religion? That is to come to this standard. That is Ananya Bhakti. So it is a perfection of religion. And it is everlasting. Once you gain this, there is no loss. It is permanently the asset of a person and joyfully performed. There is no hard and fast rules that you have to follow. You just have to take the Krishna consciousness, and it is very joyful. Srila Prabhupada says, it is Krishna consciousness means chant, dance. And when you feel hungry, you eat prasadam. If you do this much, you will advance. Then what is the difficulty? A person should become as simple as possible. But remaining simple is difficult. If you are simple in devotional service, or it is told in Shikshashtakam, Trinadapi Sunichena, Tarorapi Sahishnuna, Amanina Manadena, Kirtaniya Sadahari. This is looking very simple. You just become more tolerant than the tree, or you Tarorapi Sahishnuna, Trinadapi Sunichena. One should think that oneself as very lower than the grass, and one should be very tolerant like a tree. Amanina, don't expect any respect from others. Manadena, you respect everyone. If you do this much, then Kirtaniya Sadahari, you will always remember Krishna and your life will be perfect. This is like the Kantimala, what we wear on the neck. This mantra has to be, we have to wear on our neck. And this is the key for success in spiritual life. So that's why it's called as joyfully performed. Doing Sankirtan is joyful, doing Japa is joyful, being with the devotees is joyful, eating prasadam is joyful, and participating in festivals, it is joyful. It is joyfully performed. You don't have to go to forest, or you don't have to be so many things what we have seen in the 6th chapter. Those things not need to be Shuchau Deshe, Pratishtapya, Sthiramasana, Astitaha. All these things no need to do. You just perform this, and anybody can do it. A small child also can do it. Young people can do it. Old people, even a person who is diseased, he can also perform this. So anybody can perform this devotional service. So it is joyfully performed. Raja Vidya, it's a king of knowledge. And Rajaguhya, most confidential. Pavitram, it can purify anyone. Pratyaksha Avagamam. The Pratyaksha means you can see yourself, the result. You are chanting 16 rounds, yes, then yes, you can follow the full regulative principles very easily. And you will get more taste in reading Srila Prabhupada books. And you will advance in spiritual life very easily. It is supporting each other. If we chant more, we get taste in service. And if we do service, we can chant more pure, in a more pure way, or you can chant more with more confidence or more concentration. So if somebody is having difficulty in chanting, then they should increase their service to the Lord. And if they're having difficulty in doing service, or if they're not getting any service opportunity, they should chant more. Then they will get service, because the chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra itself is saying, "Oh Radharani, please engage me in Krishna's service." So every time we chant this Mahamantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, 108 times into 16 times. This is so many times you are telling Radharani, please engage me in Krishna's service, please engage me in Krishna's service. So Radharani definitely will give service to Krishna. So we can engage ourselves in the service of Krishna. And when we engage ourselves in Krishna's service, then our chanting becomes more purified, and we can get more concentration, we get more taste in chanting. And more getting taste means we get more service, more chanting. Then when this becomes more and more and more, we lose all our material contamination. That is called Anartha Nivritti, the 4th stage of this devotional life. Bhajana Kriya, we have Shraddha Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya. After Bhajana Kriya, this Anartha Nivritti is the most difficult stage to clear. Once a person clears this Anartha Nivritti, then his growth is very fast. The highway for devotional perfection is open to him. He has given up all the Anartha. Anartha means what? Anything that doesn't help in devotional life is Anartha. It may be following 4 regulative principles. That is, if somebody is intoxicated, or if he is a meat eater, or illicit sex, intoxication, meat eating, gambling, all these things are Anartha, because they have no value in spiritual life. They all are dragging us back in our devotional life. They are called as Anartha. These are gross Anartha. And there are subtle Anarthas, like we may be envious of someone, or we may be expecting honor from someone, or for name, fame, we may be hankering. These all are subtle form of Anarthas. So when all these Anarthas are gone away, we'll get more and more taste. We'll come to the stage of Nishta, Asakti, Bhava, Prema, the highest state is the prema of the Lord. So it is all you can see, pratyaksha avagamam. When we are advancing, we can see all these things, and it is susukham. It is very, very joyful. Devotional service, even if you have material problem, if you come to devotional life, you will become happy. Because all the material problems cannot be solved materially. In spiritual life, you can solve them. But of course, practicing spirituality is not for solving material problems, but it is as a byproduct, it gets solved. Then we'll get susukham. The devotees are always happy. A materialist, whatever he may gain, he may be having all the wealth, but still he has something to worry. That is lamentation. The lamenting is the nature of every person. If you ask everyone, are you happy? No, I am not happy. They will have some reason that I am not happy. One or the other reason they will have. Because of this, I am not happy. Because of him, I am not happy. Because of this situation, I am not happy. But if you ask devotees, are you happy? Yes, I am always happy. Why? Because I have got Krishna's service. Because you are directly connecting. The child and mother has connected. Now both are happy. So when we connect to Krishna, we will become happy. And if you try to do this by any other means, there is no happiness. Yeah, Sarita Kapoor Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Thus, the process of devotional service of Krishna consciousness is the king of all education and the king of all confidential knowledge. It is the purest form of religion, and it can be executed joyfully without difficulty. Therefore, one should adopt it. Bhagavad Gita 9.2 purport. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. So here, Prabhupada is telling, therefore, one should adopt it. Now, anything that is very attractive or very beneficial, which is available for all, we will immediately adopt it. We will take it immediately. Just like a person who buys a new mobile, first he will install WhatsApp in it because he knows that it is very important or it is very useful, or any other things which we think that it is very helpful, we'll take it immediately. But this is something if we adopt, our life itself is coming to perfection. Our life will be perfect. We can go back to Godhead. And what is there more to achieve in this life or something to gain other than taking to Krishna consciousness? So this devotional service, everyone should take. Everyone. It is not a choice. It is for everyone. Anybody takes to this Krishna consciousness, they can make their life perfect. Now here is a exercise. Draw relationship with the material world, Krishna's relationship with the material world from your given verses, that is 9.4 to 10. Draw pictures showing Krishna's relationship with the material world. So this is the material world. You can see this is like this is Karanodakashaya Vishnu. This we have seen in the last class also. From the body of Karanodakashaya Vishnu, millions of universes are coming out. We can imagine how big is the Karanodakashaya Vishnu. And in each universe, there is Garbhodakashaya Vishnu has entered. This is the second expansion, second Purusha Avatara. And from the navel of Garbhodakashaya Vishnu, Brahma takes birth, and their 14 planetary systems are coming. So this is the relation between material world and the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna. So in Krishna's relationship with the material world, give special attention to Sanskrit terms, Prabhupada's purports, analogies mentioned. So there are texts from 4 to 10. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there are 7 texts here. I'll make 5 groups. You can note down group number 5, you can take 9.4. Group number 2, 9.5. Group number 3, 9.6. Group number 4, 9.9. And group number 5, 9.10. So 4, 5, 6, 9 and 10. 7 and 8 will be covered within that. So hope everyone understood. I'll make 5 groups. Each group will have 2 minutes for presentation and 3 minutes for preparation.
Prabhuji, can you please repeat once again? Which
Yes.
group you want?
First is 9.4, second 9.5, then 9.6, that is third group.
Yeah.
Fourth group 9.9, fifth group 9.10.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Deepti Mataji, you want to ask something? Okay, sorry, it was
No, no.
for reading. Okay, fine.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Any questions? Sarita Kapoor Mataji?
Yeah, Prabhuji, just this group 5 is 9.4.
Group 9.4 is first group.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So groups are created now. Your time starts now. Hare Krishna. Yeah, please raise your hand, those who want to present. We have 2 minutes time for presenting the points. Sureshwar Priya Mataji, you can start. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
We are given the sloka, that is text number 6. So here the pictures have been drawn by Rakshita Mataji. If you can show these pictures.
Yeah, I'll make the co-host. Who will share?
Rakshita Mataji.
Rakshita Mataji. Yes, Mataji. You want to share or you just show it to the screen?
She will be showing, no? That would be okay.
Okay. Oh, showing the book. Okay, fine.
Rakshita Mataji.
Yeah, sorry, I have to unmute her.
Okay.
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Just give me a moment.
Prabhuji, can I start with the explanation? Let us show the picture.
Yes.
Okay.
Can you see?
No, not clear. Not clear, no. Come
No,
closer.
Hold study for some time. It will be visible.
Okay. So actually, we are talking about, in this particular shloka, we are dealing with the mighty wind blowing everywhere, rest always in the sky, all created beings rest in me. So here Lord Krishna is telling both living and non-living things, everything is resting on me. So just to explain this, we have drawn a diagram of an ocean, which is written as Karna Ocean, or where Karanodaka Sai Vishnu is lying down, and he is just exhaling, and so many prabhanjas are coming out, universes are coming out, and into each universe, all these planets, all these universes are controlled by Karnodaka Sai Vishnu alone, and into each universe, Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu is entering, and from his navel, the system of lotus feet is coming, and on the top of that, Brahmaji is living. Now, here we are just seeing that from Brahmaji onwards, all are material things, and Lord Krishna himself, as Narayana form, as Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu and Kshirodaka Sai Vishnu, he is in the Narayana form, 400 form. He is controlling everything. So this particular Mahavishnu form, he is having a material touch, but then too he is spiritually aligned. So there is no connection. He has got some connection with us, but he is untouchable by the material Maya. But everything has been controlled by the Vishnu form, and everything is kept in their own particular orbits. And one more thing, the eyes of Lord Krishna, that is as Vishnu, is compared as Shiva, sun planet, and this sun planet is diffusing both light and heat. This much we understood, and if anything else is there, my other partners.
Also in the shloka, Krishna says everything is in me, but I am not in them. As in, Krishna is not present personally. He's present as Vishnu form, as Mataji explained, but he is personally present in Golok Vrindavan. So that way, it's like Aishwarya Jnana Yoga. He's personally not present, but he is the controller of everything.
Yeah.
Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. Thank you,
Hare
Prabhuji, for giving us.
Hare Krishna. Next participant, please raise your hand. Yeah, Deepti Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranam. So, Prabhuji, Sarita Mataji, would you like to present? Mataji?
Yeah, Sarita Mataji.
And
You
please,
can go
please.
ahead, then I also speak little. You can
I
speak,
am bad at
Mataji.
drawing. Please
No,
kindly
yeah,
excuse
go
me.
ahead.
See, this is what I have drawn. Please kindly excuse me. This is a scenery, we can say. I mean, there are mountains, there's a bird flying, there's the sunshine which is appearing, sun is rising, some trees and the stream of water. So basically the purpose is when we say that the God is there in the unmanifested form, we cannot see him because he is always present through his superior and inferior energies, and he is diffusing with the help of his different energies. Similarly, there is an analogy, one more analogy was there. There is not the king actually, but just some block diagrams. Like there is a king who is the head of the department. He's heading different departments, which are the finance department, HR department, Ministry of Personal Affairs, etc.
So the purpose to help understanding is that we cannot see him with our material senses, but he is all pervading. That is, I mean, we can only sense him or realize him through the practice of devotional service. So this is the key intent, that he is all pervading. He is present inside as well as outside, and he is the one who is present, who is basically the creator of everything in this world, whether it is the superior energy, I mean, us, or be it the inferior energy, earth, water, air, the various elements, etc. So this is what we have understood, Prabhuji, that all the manifestations that we see and everything that exists, both in the material world and the spiritual world, they are resting on him.
Yes.
So, yeah. Yes, Prabhuji, and everything is, they are different energies of the Lord. They are based on the different energies of the Lord. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Mataji, would you like to add anything? Sarita
Yeah.
Mataji.
Sarita Mataji.
She's already told, Prabhuji, this is what this I made the different, a big king with big mustaches, big man. He's the one, he's controlling all the departments. All the departments is controlling like the head, the person, the head of the country, head of the state, he's the head of the whole universe. And that's why he's big, like he doesn't need to go there. He allots the managers over there. That this is the department, this is the Ministry of Health, this is the Ministry of Internal Affairs, this is the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, this is the Ministry of Human Resources. And then that is that he said, I am not there. That it says, that is avyakta mutina. I am pervading all, but I am not present myself. So like it says in Isopnishad, or maybe in Nectar of, I am there, I am not there. I am in you, I am not in you. So that's controversial. It seems controversial, but it says that with his energy, he's in the superior, that we learned before. Also, it tells in the shloka that what we learned before, that he's the superior energy and he pervades all in the material energies and in the inferior energies, but he's not involved. He makes the modes, but he's away from the modes. He just puts us into those modes.
Yes.
That's understanding. Hare Krishna. The rest, Dipti Mataji is already told, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Netravati Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji.
Ours was purport 9.9 in that analogy.
Okay.
One second. This is yeah. That analogy.
Whole study. So it will be visible. Yeah. Yes, Mataji. High Court. Yeah.
In High Court, there will be a judge who is prescribed duty will be to give respective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody is death penalty, somebody is getting wealth. Yeah.
Somebody is jailed, but he's stable and he is indifferent. Similar ways of Supreme Personality of Godhead is neutral and transcendental. He is actually Satchidananda. In the spiritual world, he is always eternal, blissful, and knowledge. He witnesses in the material world whatever the birth and death is happening as infinite. A person taking birth in different species, creation and annihilation, but still is transcendental.
Yes. Thank you, Mataji. Who is next? Sridhar Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Is my thing visible? Not visible. Drop picture.
Blur you have to remove from the screen.
Yeah. Is it now visible, Prabhuji?
Yeah.
Yeah. The purport that was given to us is 9.10. Let me read the translation first. This material nature, which is one of my energies, is working under my direction, O son of Kunti, producing all moving and non-moving beings. Under its rule, this manifestation is created and annihilated again and again. This purport says that Prabhupada mentions that Krishna is, we all know that Krishna is the father of the material nature. He remains aloof and he remains detached. And there is an analogy that is mentioned here. Just as how the smell of the flower touches, the fragrance touches a person, Lord Krishna remains unattached with the material nature. And he is the father of the father giving seed to the womb of the mother for all living entities here in this material world.
Yes.
Yeah. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Next, Shri Hari Priya Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I would just like to add to Sridhar Prabhuji is that here in the shloka 9.10, Prabhu is saying Maya Adhyakshen. So it is like under my direction, Sri Krishna, through his external material energy, which is one of the energies of the Lord, he brings all the animate, char, and that is what he mentions, char acharam. So the entire prakriti, he just by seeing or by just giving the power to this material energy manifests all the char and the achar entities or the living entities on this material world. And for this, the material world undergoes, because of this particular aspect of the Lord, it undergoes the changes of creation, maintenance, and dissolution. So as he is the seed-giving father, it implies that though he is involved in the manifestation of this world or the material entities, he is in the way he is involved also at the same time, he is detached and indifferent. Through the prakriti, he is doing that process. So that is the crux of this particular shloka, where he says that Maya Adhyakshen Prakriti Suyate Char Acharam. And at the same time, everything that happens, it is because of the spiritual material, sorry, it is because of the material energy of the Lord. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Radha Vallavi Mataji. Unmute yourself, Mataji. Please unmute. Okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah. So 9.5 shloka. Herein Lord says that everything is resting on him. And he says, Mat Shar Sarva Bhutana. And that everything is created by the Lord, but it is not resting on him. For example, we have seen that the picture of the Atlas holding the globe on the shoulder. This should not be considered at like that, wherein, he seems to be very tired holding the whole earthly planet. Now, although Lord is maintaining all the living entities and he's everywhere, but he's not part of the cosmic manifestation. And he's saying he's the source of every creation. So what I have created, I don't know if you are able to see this.
Hold little above, Mataji, to the camera. Still little, raise it little more. Raise the book little more. Ah, okay.
So you can see Krishna, he has all the things, whether it is giving birth to the living beings or mountains, plants, all the creation, the worldly creation. And then we have the Atlas holding the earth, the mountains, and all. It's not like that. So this is the small description which I could make.
Okay.
Deepa Arani Mataji, will you like to add anything more?
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Mataji. Hare Krishna. What you have explained, that is there, Mataji. And Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Here the main point of learning is Yogam Aishwaram. So that is, this term describes the inconceivable mystic opulences of the Lord. That is, everything that is created, it does not rest on him. It implies that although everything rests on him as per 9.4 shloka, but still he is aloof. Still he is aloof and not directly concerned with any maintenance. Directly he is not involved. Not like Atlas. That is what Mataji is explaining. It's not like Atlas. Directly he is not holding or not not maintaining, and he is aloof. And the planetary systems, those are floating in the space, and that is the energy of the Lord. And he is but he is different from the space, and his potencies are also his potencies are like they are the examples, and that is by his determination, but it is not different between he a bit different. There is no difference between he and his mind and himself, because he is absolute spirit, and all the activities performed by him is just by his willing. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Harini Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Yes,
yes, I wanted to add for verse 9.10. I heard you said that there's one analogy beside the flower analogy. There's another analogy which says that the Lord is the Father and the material nature is the Mother, and that the Lord is neutral. That is, for any activities that is taking place in this material world, the Lord is not responsible for that, right? So he simply sanctions the material energy based on the past deeds and desires of the living entities. So whatever the living entity has done in the past, the Lord just sanctioned it, and whatever desire the living entity have, the Lord fulfill that desire. But one important thing is that there is one aspect that the Lord does not give very easily. It is devotional service. So the Lord does not give devotional service very easily. Why? Because if he does so, then he gets easily purchased by the devotee. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Okay, we'll continue to our presentation. Verse number 4. The creation is resting on Krishna, but he is alone. The analogy is given, kings and department. If we go outside in the city, we are very safe. We can walk peacefully. It is because there is a government. But it is not that the government officials are standing in front of us, or the prime minister or the chief minister is coming and giving us protection personally. It is not so. But because of their presence, or the energy of them is pervading everywhere, there is peace everywhere, or there is some management or something, there is some arrangement so that everyone can live peacefully. There is a platform where everyone can perform his activities. Similarly, this entire universe, this entire world, or the space which we can see, it is all because of Krishna. It is Krishna's energy. The planets are kept in the space, just like the floating swab, the cotton swab, it floats in the air. In the same manner, the planets are floating in the space. And nobody can answer why it is so. They say that there is no gravity, there is gravity because of gravity, but they can't tell what is gravity. And these swabs, whatever we can see in the cotton, they have no proper direction. They just flow according to the wind. But these planets are so perfectly placed that they can give life to the living entity. And there can be so many living entity which takes birth there, they have their life and they have death there. And like that, it is entire life cycle is going on. It is so perfectly kept. If you take the example of physically the presence of earth, if it goes little towards the earth, towards the sun, it will become blazing fire. And if it goes little ahead of sun, it will become ice. And if it rotates little bit faster, then it will be there will be a lot of wind, and if it rotates a little slower, then there will be another disaster. So the rotation of the earth, the placement of the earth, and it is movement, everything is controlled. Yasyajnaya brahmati samvrta kala chakro, Brahma Samhita says, by whose order all the kala chakra, all the planetary systems, all the time it is going on, that is Lord Shri Krishna. But still his personal presence is not necessary because his energy is perfect. Jagadavyakta Murtina. Nachaham Teshu Avastitaha. Even though he is not present personally, everything is taking place. Then everything on Krishna's order, it is going on. But it has its own independence. That is like wind. Wind can blow within the sky, it has freedom, but it is controlled by the sky. It cannot escape from there. That is the Yogam Aishwaram, that is Aishwarya of the Lord. And Krishna is responsible for everything, but neutral, and he is detached. Without the sanction of the Lord, nothing can happen. Anything that has to happen, it is because of Krishna. Just like the High Court judge. Because of his order, somebody is getting awarded, somebody is getting punishment, somebody is getting death penalty. But he is not attached to it. The judge doesn't cry when he gives the death punishment, or he will not laugh, or he will not smile if he giving some award for someone, some wealth is given. He is not showing any happiness or distress. He is just like he is doing his duty. So Krishna is the responsible. Without Krishna, there can't be anything. He is the source of everything. But he is neutral. He is detached. Udasina Vadasina. Next, last one is by his glance. Krishna activates matter, injects jivas, but he is aloof. That is, he is called as Maya Adhyaksha. Adhyaksha is a president. Because of the presence of Lord, everything is happening. He is the creator of the material world, and he is injecting the living entity in the womb of this Mother Earth, or this all the living entities. But he is aloof. Like the smell of the flower, we can understand the flower by the fragrance, even though we don't touch it. Similarly, Krishna can maintain this material world without touching it. That is Maya Adhyakshena Prakriti Suyate Sacharacharam Hetunanena Kaunteya Jagad Viparivartate. But people who are dull-headed, or those who have no intelligence, they will misunderstand Krishna. Anybody would like to read this? Sureshwar Priya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Avajanadi mam modha manushim tanumashridam param bhavam ajanando mama bhuda maheshwaram. Hare Krishna.
Read that one.
Fools deride me when I descend in the human form. They do not know my transcendental nature as the Supreme Lord of all that be. Bhagavad Gita 9.11. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Most
Now
welcome.
here, when Krishna comes here in the form of a human being or human form, two-handed form, people think that he is also another person like us. He has also taken birth. He also has parents, and he also has all the activities just like us. So what is the difference? It is same. Krishna is also the same as us. Maybe he is little bit more powerful than us. Maybe he is more famous. Maybe he has more followers. But finally, he is similar to us. There is no difference. But it is not so. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he is coming directly. He is not coming here because of karma. And he is not a embodied person. That means he is not having the material body like us. He is coming with his spiritual body. There is no difference between Krishna's form, what we see, and the soul. There is no separate. It is same. Krishna's body is not made of the blood and the bones, the flesh, what we have. It is transcendental body. But the fools don't understand. The people who think that Krishna is an ordinary person like us, they are considered as fools here. Avajananti ma mudha. Krishna is using the word mudha. Manushim tanumashritam. And param bhavamajananto mama bhuta maheshwaram. They cannot understand the transcendental nature. Now Krishna's form is so beautiful. And if anybody is resembling Krishna's form, then we consider them also as beautiful. That means Krishna is the standard. Anybody is coming very close to his form or very close to his beauty, then we say, oh, this person is more beautiful, this person is ugly. So based on what criteria we'll decide this? This is based on the form of Krishna. Because Krishna is he is the most beautiful. The Kandarpa Koti Kamaniya Vishesha Shobha. Krishna is more beautiful than millions of cupids together. So if anybody is similar or very close to the form of the Lord, or he is looking similar to Krishna or similar to the form of the Lord. So we also have 2 hands, 2 legs like him. We are made after the form of Krishna. It is not that we have 2 forms so that we also we say Krishna also has 2 forms. It is not so. The man is made after the form of the Lord. And when we say the beauty, Krishna is the standard. Krishna is the most beautiful person. But we should not think that Krishna is also a human form, a human being like us. There are so many evidences. When Krishna was a very small baby, he was in the lap of his mother. He killed the demon Putana. So Krishna's body is not bound, or it is not limited by strength. We gain strength as we grow young, and we lose our strength when we grow old. But Krishna, he is transcendental. Even at the age of very few months old, some 3 months old child, still he could kill Putana. Krishna has not developed that strength after taking birth. He is already having the strength. And in his childhood, he has killed so many demons. And at the age of 7, he has lifted the Govardhana hill, which shows that he is not ordinary person. He has lifted the Govardhana hill with the left finger, left small finger, he has lifted it. That means it is nothing for him. He can do it easily. So that is the transcendental nature of the Lord. So when we want to understand Krishna, we should understand him through the Shastra Chakshu, through the Guru. Then only we can understand him. If we try to understand him through our knowledge or our vision, then we will only misunderstand him. Then we will be considered as fools. Radha Vallabhi Mataji.
From the other explanations of the previous verses in this chapter, it is clear that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, although appearing like a human being, is not a common man. Material bodies cannot perform the wonderful acts described in the previous verses, 9.11. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you. So whatever activities that Krishna has performed, no human being can do it. It is only Krishna can do. So that's how we can understand Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is not an ordinary person. Deepti Sahu Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
His body is called here Manushim because he is acting just like a man, a friend of Arjuna's, a politician involved in the battle of Kurukshetra. In so many ways, he is acting just like an ordinary man.
Yeah, continue, Mataji.
Okay. We cannot imagine that a form like that of a human being can simultaneously control the infinite and the minute. Actually, although he is controlling the infinite and the finite, he is apart from all this manifestation. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Continue, Mataji.
Okay. It is clearly stated concerning his Yogam Aishwaram, his inconceivable transcendental energy, that he can control the infinite and the finite simultaneously, and that he can remain aloof from them. 9.11 purport.
Thank you, Mataji. So
Thank you.
This is the inconceivable potency of the Lord. Even though he looks like a normal human being, Krishna's two-handed form, when we see, he is inconceivable. He has shown so many transcendental activities, so many pastimes, which proves that Krishna is not an ordinary person. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Whatever the pastimes that Krishna has performed when he in the Bhagavatam, whatever mentioned, no human being can do it. And whoever came in touch with the Lord, they all got liberated. They all made perfect their life perfect. They came to the perfection of their life, whether it may be devotees or the demons. He has killed the demons and he has protected the devotees. He has blessed the devotees and he has established the religious principle. So many things, whatever we can see, this is all showing that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So what are the things we learned today? 9th chapter is the most confidential knowledge, Raja Guhyam, and philosophical points of Raja Vidya verse. That is, there are different points to be understood. Why it is called Susukam Kartuma Vyayam, Pratyaksha Avagamam, all these things points we have learned. Then Krishna's relationship with the material world, how Krishna is controlling the material world, how he is creating and maintaining them. And Krishna's evaluation of those who deride him when he descends in human form. So when Krishna comes here, people think that he is ordinary. But if we use our intelligence and if we follow the Guru, Sadhu and Shastra, we can understand it is that Krishna is not ordinary person. So finally, anybody would like to read? Any new people can raise their hand. Madhuri Mataji.
To accept God as man, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, yes. To accept God as man and to accept man as God, this is rascaldom. We can understand who is an intelligent man and who is a rascal by this criterion. Krishna is canvassing, surrender unto me, but the Mudas, they will not accept it. Avagnanati mam Mudha. Oh, why shall I accept Krishna?
Continue.
Hare Krishna.
Continue.
I have got my own God. I manufacture my God. So we have got very shortcut criterion to understand a rascal and intelligent man. What is that? If he is a devotee of Krishna, then he is an intelligent man. If he is not, then he is his rascal. That's all. Bhagavad Gita 9.11, Calcutta, June 30, 1973. Hare Krishna
Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji. The Prabhupada is very clear-cut answer he is giving. Anybody who is a devotee, he is intelligent. And anybody who is intelligent knows that Krishna is not ordinary. And anybody says that Krishna is an ordinary person, he is a fool. So generally what we see in the society that people try to make a man into God and they try to make God into man. When we see Krishna's pastimes, they say that, oh, this is nothing very special, or this is all. Sometimes they don't believe at all, and even if they believe, they don't accept that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and they try to make ordinary people. We can see so many mass of people, they try to make someone as God. So both are wrong. We should not bring God at the level of man, and we should not take man at the level of God. So that is the real knowledge or a real intelligence to see everything as it is. So with this, we have come to the conclusion of today's session. If anybody has any questions, they can raise their hand and ask questions. Any questions regarding today's session? Yeah, please mark the attendance. Mataji has already shared the attendance link in the chat box. Today we finished a little early. Any questions? Any comments? Yes, Madhuri Mataji.
Sir, Prabhuji, can you please explain me that three Vishnus, Karanaka Daksha Vishnu, Garbhodaksha Vishnu, all the three?
Yes,
Once
ma'am.
just want for a clarity.
Yeah, it is called as Purushavatara. Actually, it begins from Lord Krishna. Lord Krishna is expanding himself into Balaram, and Balaram expands into Chaturvyuha, four expansions, that is Pradyumna, Aniruddha, Vasudeva, Sankarshana, that is Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, Aniruddha. And that Sankarshana expands again into Narayana. And from Narayana again comes the second Chaturvyuha, that is Vasudeva, Sankarshana, Pradyumna, Aniruddha. Then that second Sankarshana is expanding himself into Karanodakashaya Vishnu. And Karanodakashaya Vishnu is lying in the Karana ocean. Karana means cause, causal ocean. And this is filled with the Karana water or causal water. In that, Lord is breathing. And when he is breathing, when he breathes out, millions of universes are coming out of his body. That we can see in that picture. And from this, in this universe, that means each small bubbles, they are like one universe. The Lord expands himself into Garbhodakashaya Vishnu, that is second Purushavatara, and expands each and he enters into each and every universe which is created. That is Garbhodakashaya Vishnu. And it is filled with the water, Garbha Udaka. Udaka means water, Garbhodaka water. And in that, the Lord gives birth to the Brahma through the lotus which is coming out of his navel. And within that lotus, that is in the stem of the lotus, there are 14 planetary systems. And below the 14 planetary systems, there are hellish planets, 28 types of hellish planets. This explanation comes in the Canto 5, Srimad Bhagavatam. And apart from that, whatever Lord Brahma creates the universes, he creates the planets, planetary systems, within that there are so many living entities. And each and every living entity, whatever body they have created, within that Krishna is keeping the living entity. And along with the living entity, there is Paramatma. And this Paramatma or the super soul is the third expansion. Third expansion of the Purusha is called Kshirodakashaya Vishnu. Kshira Udaka. Kshira means milk, milk ocean. There is a planet or there is a place where the Lord is lying down in the ocean of milk. It is within the universe. If there is any trouble for the demigods will go and pray to the Lord Vishnu in the milk ocean, that is Kshirodakashaya Vishnu. And from him, all the expansions are coming. So these are the three expansions. This Kshirodakashaya Vishnu and the Paramatma who is present in our heart, they are same. Is that okay, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare
It was very clear. And what was the canto you said in Bhagavad Gita, Prabhuji? In Bhagavatam?
Fifth canto.
Fifth canto. Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Shri Hari Priya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandvat Pranam. I just want to know that out of which Purusha avatar Lakshmi Devi does the Pad Sevanam of which Vishnu?
It is there in both second and third. Garbhodakashaya Vishnu and Kshirodakashaya Vishnu, both we can see.
Okay, because that Shesh, that poster which we see of Prabhu lying on the Shesh Shaiya and Lakshmi ji doing Pad Sevanam, so I was a bit confused on which level Lakshmi ji is able to penetrate and do that service to the Lord.
See that if you see the bubbles, it is Karanodakashaya Vishnu, first one. And if you see Brahma at the top, it is the second one, Garbhodakashaya Vishnu. And if you don't see the Brahma, then it is Kshirodakashaya Vishnu, third one.
Okay. So the doubt was regarding the Pad Sevanam, which we consider as Lakshmi Devi doing the Pad Sevanam of Sri Vishnu.
Second one.
It is the second one. That is the Garbhodakashaya Vishnu. She does that.
Yes, yes.
And Prabhuji, if we read this Bhagavatam till 10th canto, this in the 10th canto, it becomes this entire chart, Goloka chart becomes clear, or only a partial glimpse is clear?
No, Goloka chart is explained in Canto 5. Canto 5 is dedicated for planetary systems. You
Okay.
can understand when we take Sankalpana, Bharatakande, Jambu Dvipe, all these things are explained in that 5th canto. There are different islands. We are in the Jambu Dvipa.
Yes.
Bharatakanda. How it is all explained in the 5th canto. You can read it.
Okay, Prabhuji. I've reached till the 3rd canto now. I'll start the 5th one sometime later. Okay. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Rakshita Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So Kshirodaka ocean is in the material universe, is it? So it gets dissolved, destroyed when the material universe.
No, it is a transcendental. It is not that infected by material things. It's a spiritual world only, but it is within the universe. What we are within the universe which is created.
Okay.
See, actually, everything is spiritual. Everything is spiritual. When Krishna comes, when he plays in the Vrindavan, that is also spiritual. As we consider Dham as also spiritual. But because Krishna is there, it is spiritual. Just like the within the jail, only prisoners are in. They are under the punishment. The government officials, the police, they are not under the punishment. When they go there, they are free to come out at any time. Similarly, when the Lord, even though he is in the material world, even though it is a part of the universe, Kshirodakshai Vishnu is in the transcendental platform.
Okay. Yes, Prabhuji. And one more question is, like when we commit any mistake, then it is Papa Karma. So if we go and apologize, will that reaction to that Papa Karma be nullified, or we still have to suffer the reaction?
It depends. It will reduce. Definitely, it will be reduced, but it may not become zero.
Okay.
It all depends. You have to specifically see what is the kind of sin you are talking about.
Okay. Okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Sarita Kapoor Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. First of all, my obeisances. How much you all know canto this, Prabhuji, it goes from up really for us. And Prabhuji, I just wanted to understand about Mahatattva.
Mahatattva is like it's
a part of a spiritual sky. What exactly? Reading is not. I could be confused.
It is like a cloud. The ocean is evaporated and it makes a cloud, and then rain comes. Similarly, in the spiritual world, there is a part. It's like a cloud. It's a Mahatattva from which this material creation takes place. Everything is taken from there. It's a totality of all the 5 elements, the gross and subtle, all the elements, all are there in the Mahatattva. If you like a gross example, you can say, you go to the market and bring the vegetables, grocery, everything, and keep in the storeroom. Now that storeroom is the Mahatattva. And every day you cook. Now for today, you take little bit rice, little bit vegetables, and some grocery you take, and you mix it, you heat it, and put salt and chili, and the preparation is ready. That is today's creation. But the remaining is there still in the storeroom. You're not using everything. So that is Mahatattva, which is not yet used. But this, whatever you are using, that is also a part of that storeroom. So that is also a part of Mahatattva. The totality is considered as Mahatattva, which is covering one portion of the spiritual world. It is told 1/4 part.
Yeah. But then it is not attached to the spiritual world. It's total separate entity. The material.
The spiritual world, but it is separate from it. Just like the jail is within the city, but it's not a city. You cannot have all the facility which is in the city inside the jail. But still, overall, altogether, if you see, the jail is within the city only. So everything is spiritual. For Krishna, nothing is material. If you offer anything to Krishna, that also becomes spiritual. The prasadam is also spiritual. According to the capacity of the devotee, he can convert matter into spirit. Srila Prabhupada converted a whole world into spiritual world. He has made so many spiritual centers. So they all are spiritual world. They all are Vaikunthas.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Yeah. On the contrary, if we see the spiritual things for our own enjoyment, that will act as a matter. Just like for Ravana, Sita Devi was, he did not see her as Lakshmi Devi. So for him, she was death. So if we try to enjoy Krishna's property, it will become like a matter. And if we offer everything to Krishna, then it will act as spiritual.
Okay. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Anybody else has any questions to ask? Okay, this was about Raja Vidya, Raja Guhya Yoga. Today we have seen about 12, first 12 texts. Remaining text we will see in the next session. Okay, Mataji told one Kirtan is there, no? I'm sorry, I took little bit ahead because today's session was little small. Yeah, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Deeparani Mataji.
Yeah, please, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Mataji. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hari bolbo ar madan mohan herabo go. Hari bolbo ar madan mohan herabo go. Ami ei rupe brajera pathe chalabo go. Ami ei rupe brajera pathe chalabo go. Hari bolbo ar madan mohan herabo go. Hari bolbo ar madan mohan herabo go. Ami ei rupe brajera pathe chalabo go. Ami ei rupe brajera pathe chalabo go. Hari bolbo ar madan mohan herabo go. Hari bolbo ar madan mohan herabo go. Jabo go brajendra pure, haba go gopi karanupur. Jabo go brajendra pure, haba go gopi karanupur. Tande charan madhur madhur bajabo go. Tande charan madhur madhur bajabo go. Hari bolbo ar madan mohan herabo go. Hari bolbo ar madan mohan herabo go. Ami ei rupe brajera pathe chalabo go. Ami ei rupe brajera pathe chalabo go. Hari bolbo ar madan mohan herabo go. Bipin binoda khela संग तेरा खाले रमेला. बिपिन बिनोद खेला संग तेरा खाले रमेला. तांदे चरण धूल मखबो गो. तांदेर चरण धूल मखबो गो. हरि बोलबो और मदन मोहन हेरबो गो. हरि बोलबो और मदन मोहन हेरबो गो. राधा कृष्ण रूप माधुरी हेरबो दो नयन भारी. राधा कृष्ण रूप माधुरी हेरबधु नयन भरी निकुंजेर द्वारे द्वारे रहिब गो आमी निकुंजेर द्वारे द्वारे रहिब गो हरि बोलबो और मदन मोहन हेरबो गो हरि बोलबो और मदन मोहन हेरबो गो ब्रजबासी तोमर सबे अभिलाष पूरा होइबे ब्रजबासी तोमर सबे अभिलाष पूरा होइबे आर कबे श्री कृष्णर बंसी सुनब गो आमी आर कबे श्री कृष्णर बंसी सुनब गो हरि बोलबो और मदन मोहन हेरबो गो हरि बोलबो और मदन मोहन हेरबो गो ए देह अंतिम काले राखबो श्री यमुनार जले ए देह अंतिम काले राखबो श्री यमुनार जले जय राधे गोविंद बोले बसबो गो आमी जय राधे गोविंद बोले बसबो गो हरि बोलबो और मदन मोहन हेरबो गो हरि बोलबो और मदन मोहन हेरबो गो कहे नरोत्तम दासा न पूरिलो अभिलाषा कहे नरोत्तम दासा न पूरिबो अभिलाषा आर कबे ब्रजर वासे करिब गो आमी आर कबे ब्रजर वासे करिब गो हरि बोलबो और मदन मोहन हेरबो गो हरि बोलबो और मदन मोहन हेरबो गो आमी रूपे ब्रजेर पथे चलबो गो आमी रूपे ब्रजेर पथे चलबो गो हरि बोलबो और मदन मोहन हेरबो गो हरि बोलबो और मदन मोहन हेरबो गो निताई गौरांग निताई गौरांग निताई गौरांग गौर हरि गौर 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 हरि निताई गौरांग गौर हरि जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव जय श्री प्रभुपाद की जय हरे कृष्ण
Thank you, Mataji. Very nicely you have sung.
हरे कृष्ण थैंक यू हरे कृष्ण
Would you like to read the translation?
यस गुरु When will I be able to say Hari and see Madan Mohan? For this form, I will walk to Braja. When I enter the holy land of Braja, I will be the ankle bells of the gopis' feet. I will make sweet, sweet sounds. I will behold the pastimes of the cowherd boys and will spread the dust from their feet and apply it to my body. I will behold the vision, sweet form of Radha and Krishna in my two eyes. I will remain at the gate of the forest of Braja. O residents of Braja Bhumi, please fulfill my desire. When will I hear the sweet sound of the flute of Sri Krishna? At the last moment of my life, I will place my body in the Yamuna river and float singing Jaya Radha Govinda. Narottama Das says, I am unable to fulfill my this desire. When will I become a resident of Braja Bhumi? Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Yeah. So